What is up, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists out there, and welcome to another episode of On the Bench with Pete, the series you put on in the background whilst you hobby or paint along with me, and I chat to you about stuff. And this is pre-recorded, it's not live, so you won't see me on the likes of Twitch or other live streaming platforms, because although I do the old live show, live's really not my bag. Pre-recorded is where it's at for me, and I like to do these, and I get stuff done whilst I talk to you. Hopefully you can get stuff done too, and let me know in the comments below what you're working on. So grab your glues, brushes, models, paints, whatever else you need. Tea, coffee, I got coffee in my R2-D2 mug, and let's get started.
And here we are, folks, on the bench. As you could see, I've got a lot of stuff for Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core. Loads of these cargo containers. That's what I was using the yellow for. Sorry, I'm just reminding myself why I had a yellow paint out. I had no reason for it. Anyway, put some paints away. Right, so I've got some work to do. First off, I want to put some Corvus Black on the magazines on these two guns here. Just zoom in ever so slightly. Yeah, because I'll do that and start off by saying, man, it is cold. It is so cold outside. But I got some epic news. Epic news. If you follow me on these, you'll know that I've been doing courses online to try and gain the skills I need for a better job, essentially. When I say better job, I mean better suited for me, you know. I'm just using this lid for a palette. It was like a Twiglets container or something, but it makes a perfectly good palette. Yeah, better suited for me, i.e., you know, not on my hands and knees like I do have to do with my current job to get to the bottom shelf. One of those things. Oh, I just realised I got no paper towel. Come on now. Yeah, so I did that word course, the word processing course. Passed that. You know that. After that, I decided to undertake an Excel course, which is spreadsheets and things. Guess what? I passed it yesterday, 100%. I've been working non-stop to try and get this course under my belt. And the irony is, I thought I'd be worse at Excel than Word because I'm not very good with numbers. But it turns out it's not as scary as all that. All you got to know is what you want to do in your formulas and things, and Bob's your uncle. It's not unlike a word processor in that respect. Just, you know, how do I want to add something up, or divide something, or get a percentage of something, or you know, combine these sales figures for all these months on these different worksheets. You know, it does it all for you. Of course it does. I should have known. But you know, me and my brain figured, oh, it's going to be too hard for me. But it wasn't. So I've now got an Excel qualification too. I mean, we're talking beginning stuff, but I can now safely say I think I know my way around a spreadsheet fairly well. And that's really what I wanted, because now it means I can, when it says in a job description, I must have knowledge of Word and Excel, I can now go, yeah, I know Excel. Not the best exponent at it, but I certainly know my way around it. I can do the basics. So there's that. And I'm having a well-deserved day off today, as a bit of a celebration. Thought I'd come out here, do some hobby, get my hobby stuff done, get my funk on. That's those guns, magazines done, and yeah, indulge myself a little. I've got to finish off my tutorial later on for my Colonial Marine, doing Hudson, and that's going to be for the patrons out there. So if you want to know how to paint up a Colonial Marine, or how I paint up a Colonial Marine from Aliens, then head on over to Patreon, and you'll need to be at tier 3, I believe, or level 3, which is I think it's $3 a month, that one. Starts at $1. You get behind the scenes stuff, and then for $2 you get the paint-alongs as well. For $3 you get the tutorials too. For $5 or more, you will gain all that, obviously, but you will also gain access to games that I will be running just for patrons. Move these aliens over here, so I won't know who's done. I'll line them up in a specific order. So that's my exciting news. I've passed an Excel course, and you know, there's quite a few hours of work involved. Not too bad. Gets a bit, melts your brain after a while. You need a break. I pushed myself though. I just did it day after day until I'd done it. So now my wife recommends, Mrs. Mini Warzone, that is, she recommends that I do an Outlook course. But and I think she's perfectly right, as in that's the kind of the next logical Microsoft application to do a course on, I suppose. But there is a admin course, an administration course, how to be a good administrator, which I'm thinking of doing first, because I don't think it's a very long course. If I want to apply for admin type roles, then that would stand me in quite a bit of good stead, I would think. Now, I applied for a business apprenticeship job where my wife works, and I really hope I can get in there. I mean, it's like starting at the beginning again, you know, so it's an apprenticeship, so, you know, the pay's not too great, but you work your way up, and, you know, eventually you'll get the job in there that you want, and they're not going anywhere as an employer, so I thought that they would be the best ones to do an apprenticeship with. That way I can, yes, the first year is where I really would take a hit financially, but after that we'd be kind of, you know, in a good position, because then I would be earning quite a bit more, certainly a lot more than I'm earning now, and that's just in the second year of apprenticeship. So yeah, that would be nice. So I would be prepared to do, you know, the first year, long hours and low pay. I'll do that because the bigger picture is that I would be in a job that's secure, totally financially viable for today's living costs and needs. And you know, I'd be in a good place, and there's so many opportunities there, you know, for other things. It's untrue. Probably a decent pension scheme, all sorts of things, and I'd be able to do a job that's not too physical. Therefore, I could do till I retire. Hopefully, if I live that long. You know, so that would be good. That would be good. The future could look pretty rosy at that point. Yeah. It's quite good fun applying for jobs as well, you know, with the confidence knowing, yay, I can do all these things you're asking of me, you know, in the role description. I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. Probably not as quickly as someone else, but I can do it nonetheless. I'm just pleased, you know, I've learned another new skill. To me, that is everything. I'm just going to move some paints out of the way, so scraping paint pots, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just pleased to learn another new skill. That's going to be brilliant. And that's what it's all about, you know. That's what it's all about. I've learnt so much in the last sort of 6 months. It's been a bit of quite a ride, really. Crazy time. So I'm going to get through these quite quick, these aliens. Once this dries, they're done. They are done. They're done. Ready for the tabletop. And ready to wreak havoc in the game. That is Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core. I watched Aliens the other day because I'm, you know, into it because of these games, and yeah, really got me into it. Got me wanting to play the RPG game again, you know. The thing is, I don't have the rulebook for it anymore. It wasn't mine to begin with. It was my friend, and I posted it back to him. Well, back to him. He hadn't had it yet. This was before lockdown and all that kind of stuff, so we didn't know that we were going to be kind of, you know, out of contact for a long time. You see, so it's quite funny, really. So what happened was, he came around here one day with the book, saying, "You gotta look at this." He part of my role playing group. We gotta role play this. Please say we can do it. You know, I thought, well, aliens. I like aliens. That's a good start. And he said, "No, I'll leave the book here. Then just, you know, bring it over or let me have it back next time I'm round." Thinking that'd be like the following week or what have you. And yeah, kind of stayed with me for about 9 months. But I quite fancy it again now. So my question is, do I save up and buy the rule book, or should I save up and buy the starter set? If they do like a starter set 3D publishing for Alien, I presume it's a bit like the Dungeons and Dragons ones that Wizard of the Coast do. So yeah, so I'm in two minds as to what to do about that. It is an awesome system. It's probably one of the most innovative systems I've come across. And they're going to be doing the second edition of the One Ring. Now I've got second-hand books for the One Ring, which I'm planning on doing as a solo RPG adventures from, using that as the main system. Whether they use the same type of system for that as they do in Aliens currently, that'd be quite interesting. I love the game mechanics for Alien. Best I've ever seen in an RPG game. Right. So that's what. I'll take my glasses off whilst I sit back. Remove my aliens from the board because they are not needed for the rest of this video. They can dry over there. My tutorial area. Right, I've got to do work on these bad boys. Do the W's on these. Now I'm going to weather some up. Really, I'm supposed to break it up a bit, otherwise they're all just all the same. You know, it's a bit. Now, a lot of the components for this game, pretty much all the components for this game, this board game, could be utilised in an RPG setting too. So there is that to bear in mind. Right. I've got a lead belt here as well because I need to do the bases of my face huggers. But do that later. Right, for now, Avalon Sunset. I've been working on a computer terminal for it as well, so I'll be doing that later too. Thus far, I'm liking it thus far. Yeah. Right. So, 4 containers to do. I'll put 2 blobs down. Bit of water. Bit of thinner medium. One of the best discoveries ever. Just a drop. Thins the paint down without it kind of breaking apart on you. It allows you to maintain control without it becoming a wash if you do it too much. Yeah. Right. Glasses on. 18 minutes. Aware of how quickly the time goes in these videos. So, whilst I think about it, you know what I'm going to say. What are you working on? What are you working on? I know what some of you are working on. Or I'm guessing what some of you are working on. Well, I hope those projects are going well for you. You know, whether they're commissions or your own projects, I hope they're going well for you. But yeah, there we go. That's one. Wayland Yutani. I've seen some playthroughs of Alien the RPG game, and when I had the book, I also wondered, can it be done solo? And it was actually, a little bit of info for you, the first RPG game I ran solo was Alien. I did it partially to get used to the mechanics, but yeah, as I recall, and that was over a year ago now, but as I recall, it was a very good system for solo play. The only thing which I haven't quite worked out the finer points of yet, which people have asked me about as well, is how do I deal with the personal agendas of all like the NPCs and things, and that is somewhat more tricky. And I suppose what it comes down to is, of course, it's not going to be the same experience solo play as it is, with a dedicated group, GM. So there are certain things you are going to have information you're going to have knowledge of that you wouldn't do ordinarily. And I suppose you've just got to play it sensibly. But how sensible you are as a person, well, that's up to you. I mean, I think most people are quite sensible with that kind of thing, because they, it's only them playing, so, if they're being silly about it, well, it's their game, they kind of wreck, really. I thought about just asking oracles whether a certain character is not, do they have an agenda, because yeah, they do, they all do, but are they working, are there recent actions to do with their agenda? And then the only problem with that is the oracle could say yes. Then when you discover their personal agenda, it's got nothing to do with what they were doing in game. So another option is to just get someone else to check the personal agenda for you, someone, like in your family or whatever, but then, well, you might as well not play solo, because you're not playing solo at that point then, are you? I don't know. I personally, I just think, well, you've just got to bite the bullet and say, yeah, all right, this is their agendas, and this is how I'm going to deal with it. Yeah, that's how I'm thinking of doing it. I actually ran the game. Although I don't have the core rulebook, I do have the module Chariot of the Gods, and I ran the game. I ran a solo game of that, and it turned out quite well. I used the Mythic Oracle system, and it turned out rather well. Right, I'll do my face huggers next. Zoom in a little more. These devils here. Two face huggers, 8 eggs, 2 sentry guns, 6 computer terminals, 16 crates. It's an awful lot of crates. I think it's time for coffee. Time for Teletubbies is the time for Teletubbies. Don't know why I'm saying that. Oh, actually, I do. I had a memory flash through my mind of Teletubbies going around a friend's house, and his kid, well, actually, his grandson was watching Teletubbies. This was years ago now. Long time ago. Long time ago when the sun was shining. Now, do I do some more work on my computer? I think I'll get the basing done on these face huggers. We'll get the basing done on the face huggers because we want them ready. There's only 2 of them. Thinner, medium, boom. Kind of 1 3/4 drops there. Oops, nearly put my brush into the wrong pot of water. It's a different one for metallics. Always have a different water because it will contaminate your other paints and you will get metallic flecks show up in your normal paints, and you don't want that. These bases soak up paint like there's no tomorrow. Almost as bad as MDF. You're painting MDF terrain, you know, and you're painting the side of a building, for instance, and it just soaks up the paint. So I usually put some PVA to seal it in first. That usually helps. That's 1 face hugger there. I'll be painting the sides black, so not worried about the sides at this stage. I love that these bases are super easy by design. Nothing fancy about them, and that's all you need as well. There. Right, now thinking about my crates, not those 4 I've just done because I want them to dry off a bit further. And my computer. I think I might do white keys on the keyboard. We'll need the background, the screen to be black. That is definite. So, Abaddon black for that one. I think we'll do that one next, actually. And sort of brushes have I got here? My brushes are all over the place, it would seem. I've got 201 here, which I think I will use, rather than that 01. Oops, yeah, knocking my microphone around. Sorry about that. Okay. So, Abaddon black, or Abaddon black. What do you say, Abaddon or Abaddon? You can type it and it won't make any difference because I still don't know how you're saying it. That's quite funny. Shall I put some thin and medium with that too? I want it quite thin. Quite thin. Right. Glasses back on. Here we go. Looking at the screen. And of course, the computers in Alien are all like the old-fashioned ones back in the day. Their version of the future is quite quite funny, really. Yeah, it's funny looking back on my life from when I was a kid, and the gaming group I was in, and the fact that there was Rob, who was the miniature painter and collector. He loved all things Citadel and that. He had all sorts. He had Warhammer Fantasy. He had Blood Bowl. He had it all, and he had like trays and trays of painted armies, and they're all fantastic. I never would have thought though that out of all of us, it would seem I'm the one that's doing this hobby. I'm going to want to put some green text on this screen. But what green? Got to be a very bright, like a warpstone glow, or maybe even a lighter. There it is, there's that. There, that's so that's the screen. It's hopefully gonna, yeah, it's like back in the day computers were green text on black backgrounds, like the old mainframe screens and all that. Back in the day, I remember. I'm old enough to remember. I can remember that. So that's quite funny. Oh, I think I might do the Cable Avalon Sunset on these guns here. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, it's just that little bit more eye-catching, isn't it, when you just put a single colour on. These guns typically don't last that long. Although they've got 500 ammo in them, they typically don't last that long. Those guns done. Right, now I'm looking at some dry rust. Knocking all my stuff over. Let's take my glasses off for a minute. Yeah, so my plan is to apply for office jobs, right? officey type work, administration, that kind of thing. And every time, I kind of promised myself this yesterday. Every time I get a rejection, starting from today, I'm going to do another course to compensate. That will be what I do. I'll be like, alright then, I'll do another course. In the end, nobody will have any choice but to sort of look at me and go, hang on, this dude's, he's pretty awesome here, what's the deal, I'll have a list. I'm going to have a list on my CV. I'm going to change my CV. Courses undertaken. Maybe like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Outlook, how to be a good administrator, and various other things. It's gonna be good. Right, so that's a bit on there. I think a lot of these are just going to have the rust effects. Build up along the bottom here, yeah. Will I have some pristine? Yeah, probably. So moisture in the air, it just makes it rust out. All I can hear is the wind outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not from where I've got the microphone positioned. Probably not. But it's blowing a hoolie out there. And it's so cold. So cold. Keeps promising snow, but believe that when I see it. This is pretty good, this dry rust effect. Liking it. Digging it a lot here. This one is really manked up. I mean, Wonder how my wife's getting on today. Let me see, it's Thursday. Do you know what she calls Thursday in work? Friday Eve. The eve of the last day of the week. It's a great way of looking at it, you know. She's got people in her work referring to it as Friday Eve now. Time have we got here? 46 minutes. Gonna have to stop soon because I'm running out of things to paint. But yeah, I'll be back with other projects. Don't you worry about that. Get all these rust effects on here. It's another really manked up one. I think we'll have 5 pristine ones too. Why not? Just realised I've got 2 computers, so I could have done the screen of that one too. Okay, well, we'll do that, I think. We'll do that. Let's just get the camera where I want it. And yeah. I'm just drawing my line at the bottom of the screen of what his screen's going to be. Yeah, it said it was going to be windy here today. I mean, it's windy here where I live anyway because I live so high up. So when it says it's windy, it means it's really windy. It's like, you know, job to walk in sometimes. It's windy here. Yeah. Make sure you don't get blown away as you take the rubbish out. Yeah, that kind of windy. Right. Alright. 50 minutes. I'm going to be finishing off my tutorial after this. My Colonial Marine. I'm pretty chuffed with the way he's coming out, I'll be honest with you. Pretty chuffed. Because he's... I'm trying to film it in a similar vein to Warhammer TV, but not exactly the same. So, you know, kind of a little bit of a cut to me mixing the paint up and then sort of freeze focus kind of shot of the model. Difficulty is getting it in focus to start with and keeping it It's finding that sweet spot distance, but once you get it, you know, it's cool because it doesn't need to change. But yep. Anyway, so when these are dry, which some of them are, I think. That one is. Then some of these can have some new rust effects put on them too. And how I will do that is kind of going to be sort of like a dry brush. Sorta. So, I mean, it's dry paint anyway, Riser Rust.
I'm off to B&M.
Got
I've got the list. Yeah, I'll text you if I can't get anything else. Obviously, text me if we need anything else other than what's on the list.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
See you later. Lock me in.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, that was just my daughter going out somewhere. Get some stuff we need. She's combining it with a daily exercise, like, you know, going out. Right. Now, Riser Rust. Okay, just a bit there in the middle. A little bit. So I think that's quite effective to look like rust. So that's on one. So we're going to do extremes as well, you know. I mean, you got to remember, it's not like Warhammer 40k. It's, you know, it doesn't need to be that far gone. Just a bit, I suppose. Riser Rust is actually a beautiful orange dry paint. And I don't mind about this brush getting splayed. Getting a bit carried away with myself there. So, plan is to find the paints that aren't still wet. Of course, any bright orange will do over any dark brown. I've had my heating on non-stop since I've been out here, and with good reason. It's a warm position to be in here. My legs under the bench, you know, like this. Yeah, so I'm still keeping those 5 on the right, on my right. Zoom out a bit. Trying not to knock the microphone. They're over there. Still trying to keep them pristine. This one's really worn out. It's where I imagine the crates are, like on a cargo hauler or what have you. They're in a cargo bay or something. But, you know, there's a leaky pipe over them or, you know, anything. Anything like that. And these 3. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that Colonial Marine tutorial done, because I got some more tutorials, you know, raring to go, which is going to be great. Alien egg one. That's going to be good. It's going to involve kind of like a wet blend type affair. So that's gonna be good, and the alien eggs are great props for the RPG as well. Now, the thing I've been trying to consider is, do I do my solo RPG prop wise? Because it doesn't really need it, I don't think, in Alien. Not if you're doing it solo. If you're doing it with other players, definitely is pretty good. You don't need to. It's a great one for Theatre of the Mind, I think, because the mind gives you much more terror, I feel, than you'll ever experience. Right, I'm leaving those few as is. So that's good. That's that done. I think it's time to bring this video to a close. I really do. So, zoom right up. So that's it. I've got my coffee, which I'm going to enjoy now. Well, thanks for joining me on this rather unusual On the Bench. It's been a blast. Glad to have you with me. Those crates just need sealing now, and as far as I'm concerned, they're good to go. Now, do I seal them as gloss or not? I don't suppose they'll get used that much. I'll give that some thought. Yeah, I might just leave it as they are. I don't know that, yeah, because it's not like pieces where you're moving them around. They're just going to be kind of like props, right? So, do they need sealing? I'm not sure if they do. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think a piece like this, which wouldn't get like picked up and used a lot, do you think it needs to be sealed? Really? I don't know. I don't know on that one. Certain terrain I don't usually seal because it just doesn't warrant it. And others I do. I haven't thought about these crates yet though. Yeah, that's something to think about. Alright then. Well, thanks very much for joining me on this episode of On the Bench with Pete. I'm so glad to have had you along. And I will see you guys in another video. So, remember, all brushes lead to war. And bye for now. Bye bye, folks.